Last night, a retirement party was held. It was only a small party held by the B-rank celebrant. He was just drinking with some friends who gave him a few gifts. After all of that, he still has all the money he has saved up over the 20 years of his hard work. There are also few buildings under his name. All he has to do now is to spend the rest of his days in peace. But this really isn't it. Right now, he is in the study room he used to live in 20 years ago. By looking at his phone, he confirmed that it's 2018. Out of rage, he threw his phone to the wall, shouting why he have to regress now after he just retired. While thinking about what he did wrong, he noticed the watch his friend Junchio gave him. Thinking why it is still with him. Rumors says that it's a relic of Yahello, the Byron continent's legendary mage. He remembers that he was playing with it before he fell asleep last night, so maybe it's the reason of his regression. As he was so noisy, someone was madly knocking outside his door complaining about him being so loud. He then remembers that there was a jerk living next to him, which is the study dorm owner's son, who looks like he's part of a gang. He was not able to sleep well every night as that guy has karaoke parties and drinks on his own. And before he knew he had awakened, the guy always used to steal money from him. It was pissing him off thinking about all of that. He opened the door, then smiled at the guy. The clothes he wears are pretty high quality, and his jacket is made from a monster leather. This arrogant fat guy said that he is getting a psychological damage due to some noise and was thinking to call the police. But he doesn't want to do it to someone so young. He said he will just pretend it never happened if he will receive some money to compensate for the psychological damage. He saw the watch and said that it should be enough, but he was not able to get what he wants. He was held on the face and then received a strong punch. It's still not enough for our guy, so he slams the fat guy's face onto his knee. Then the fat guy fell to the floor. Our guy said that this doesn't make up for everything he stole from him, but he'll be nice. He then left the place wearing the fat guy's expensive jacket. He was wondering why he came back to 2018, but this is when he awakened after he fell at the construction site. He was having a hard time all his life because of the knee injury he got back then. He managed mana for 20 years, so awakening on his own is just a piece of cake. While checking his body, he knew that he is not getting enough nutrition and his muscles are lacking. His stomach started to growl because of hunger. As he was trying to find a restaurant, he noticed that everywhere is under construction. Suddenly, a gate appears and people started to run and shout for help. A red-spotted wild dog with sharp teeth came out of a gate. Our guy drops his bag and started looking for a weapon to use. After he got his weapon, he rushed to save a kid from a group of wild dogs. He told the kid to go to his dad while he fights the group of monsters. He can easily fight them, but he is hungry, and there's so many of them. Thinking about it, these guys are really chubby and looks delicious. He used to eat them and they were really yummy. So, he decided to get this over with quickly due to being hungry. Even if he's young and healthy now, this is still 20 years ago. He is not as skilled as he was at the age of 40. However, his knees are in really great condition. While dodging the monster's attack, he removed his watch and used it as a weapon. He punched the monster with the watch and found it to be sturdy. There were still about 10 monsters left, but finally, the police arrived. While checking the ripped parts of the jacket, the police came to thank him for saving the citizens' lives. The police then asked him about his affiliation and his name for the rewards. He said that his name is Lim Dae-In, and he is not affiliated with anywhere yet. He told the police that he hasn't been registered as a superhuman either. It has only been a few hours since he awakened. He knew that he can't receive rewards right now, so he just left his number and IBAN. After giving his information, the police wanted to tell him something, but he rushed and went away. Lim Dae-In knew that his name and number should be enough for the others to contact him soon. News about him immediately spread, that they have found a new awakened and he is just about 20. While eating at the restaurant, the first call came. Lim Dae-In thinks that was fast, but this is right about the time when everyone was desperate to recruit superhumans. If it is 2018, it is about 2 years after the first gate appearance. It was when superhumans with mana and special traits began to replace police and regular military, and when the guilds began coming to power. When a new superhuman appeared, there was tight competition to recruit them. Then Lim Dae-In appeared in the middle of that. There is a ton of superhuman criminals out there, and there aren't manuals for how to react when a monster appears. So, Lim Dae-In has no choice but to use the knowledge from the future that no one knows about yet, and plans to retire within 3 years. He wants to make sure to enjoy an amazing retirement life. While his cell phone was relentless in receiving new messages, a man approached and asked if he was Lim Dae-In. This man introduced himself as Kim Gil-soo, the manager of the Royal Family Guild. He said that he really wanted to meet Lim Dae-In after seeing the monster hunting video. Kim Gil-soo wants to sign a contract with Lim Dae-In, but someone came and stopped him from doing it. A lady came asking if he is Lim Dae-In, the star of the monster takedown video. Later, many people from different guilds suddenly arrived and introduced themselves. People have been so noisy for fighting whose guild is the better Lim Dae-In should enter. Lim Dae-In told them to keep quiet, and if they say one more word, he will not join that guild at all costs. After they shut their mouth up, Lim Dae-In told them that they should go someone else first. His first question to them is, how high they can go for the contract signing bonus. Kim Gil-soo, from the Royal Family Guild, said that the contract has a non-disclosure clause and suggests about talking to each of them one by one. As Kim Gil-soo continues to speak, Lim Dae-In told him to have a safe trip back because he doesn't have any plans of signing a contract with him. Lim Dae-In then asked the rest of them about their offers. One of them offers 1 billion won, 1.1 billion won, 1.2 billion won up to 1.5 billion won. But Lim Dae-In is curious how much Black Hound will offer. He was with them before he regressed. White House Guild Manager, Baek Young-wi, offered 2 billion won. She said that they will give him the best of all conditions, and no other place can offer him such great treatment. White House is a recently founded guild, but after 1 year, it will become one of Korea's top 3 bigshot guilds. Lim Dae-In thinks that maybe that's the reason for their fierce call. He then told everyone to leave, except for Miss Baek Young-wi. Young-wi said that she watched the fighting video of Dae-In many times. She was amazed with his fighting skill and said that she is certain that Dae-In is either a genius, or he has gained a characteristic that gives him the upper hand in a fight. Because of that, they would like to nurture Dae-In as the future of White House. Dae-In certainly could never have dreamed of such a contract in his previous life. But he wanted to add in a few more clauses. Young-wi laughed and said that he's quite the comedian. Dae-In told Young-wi that he is not joking and asked her to take a look at it. 4 days of work a week, guaranteed end of work shift on time, and the right to refuse missions that take a long time. Young-wi said that this must be a joke, but those are Dae-In's conditions. Young-wi asked him of what makes him so confident about himself. Dae-In replied that she won't regret signing a contract with him in return. After that, Young-wi stands up and told Dae-In that she'll see him a few days later with the revised contract. Before leaving, Young-wi winked at Dae-In and asked him to have a drink with her next time. But Dae-In won't fall for it since he knew that Young-wi is the guildmaster's daughter. After the meeting, Dae-In went to Disaster Management Center to register himself as a superhuman. The problem is, the person in charge isn't there right now. Dae-In says that he's kind of in a hurry, and hope that they can work something out. The new girl, Ji-yeon, said that she will try contacting her superior first. After the call, Ji-yeon asked him if he has any special traits. Dae-In answered that he's the type who uses physical strengthening, and he doesn't have any special traits. That's a lie though. This era doesn't have a magical power meter yet, so they only know of his traits or body's powers if he shows them. He won't let anyone know of his traits in this life. They will start with the superhuman test, so he was asked to pick up the barbell first. Dae-In easily lifts up the barbell with just one hand. Ji-yeon is now convinced that Dae-In is really a superhuman because he can easily lift up a 200 kilos barbell. Then, they moved on to the next one. After taking all of the tests, Lim Dae-In was given a temporary superhuman certificate. They will just contact him once the official certificate is ready. When Dae-In was about to leave, the team leader just arrived looking for Ji-yeon. Dae-In tries to just pass through quietly. The superhuman support team's Ju Sang-wook. Nothing good will come out of getting involved with him. Dae-In thinks that he should just never come back again. Ju Sang-wook asked Ji-yeon if that's the new superhuman. She answered yes, he's the one she's talking about on the call. The super rookie. Dae-In went to the contamination control area. It is completely sealed off and abandoned because of the monsters, but things change when the dimensional gate opens up. Gaia Continent, a fantasy world where swords and magic exist. 1 year from now, dimensional gates connecting Gaia will open up all over Earth, and humanity will encounter a new civilization. In Korea, only one gate is expected to open there in the control area. Dae-In is planning to buy the place once he gets his signing bonus, because he thinks that once the gate opens, he'll make a fortune. While trying to unpack, Dae-In heard a voice shouting, "Get out or I'll kill you." Dae-In recognizes it as Gaia Continent's language. He then uses his special trait stealth to check the surroundings and hide his presence. A girl surrounded by 3 men which are human traffickers. The girl tried to use a superpower to scare them, but it's no good. One of the men asked her to come and they will buy her something delicious to eat. Dae-In saw the tattoo from the guy's arm. It's the mark of the criminal group called Red Snake. Since Dae-In doesn't have enough mana, he stopped using the stealth. Holding a knife on his hand, he dashed in and stabbed the man from its back. After that, he also cut off the neck of 2 other men. The girl gets trembled on what she saw, then Dae-In asked her if she's from Gaia Continent, and that he has a question for her. The girl was surprised because Dae-In can speak their language. Suddenly, her stomach growled due to hunger. Hearing it, Dae-In asked the girl if she likes meat. The girl thanked Dae-In for saving her and promised to repay his kindness. Dae-In then asked the girl if she crossed the dimensional gate all alone, and the girl replied with a yes. He also asked her a lot of questions about her hometown and her age, but the girl doesn't want to tell him anything. Dae-In couldn't find out a single thing. Still, the girl wants him to help her because she didn't know anything about the place, can't communicate with anyone, and she's also weak. She can use fire magic but not great at using it. Dae-In told her that babysitting a kid is hard and he has no reason to be taking care of her. For now, he is giving her a month to live there so that he can teach her their language and some basic knowledge. As a return, he will make her do chores and follow his orders. The girl introduces herself as Lily. A fire skill user named Lily, that sounds familiar to Dae-In. The monster who will burn half of Seoul to a crisp 10 years from now, with the hair color of flames and the ability to use fire. Her name was Lily and she's from the continent of Gaia. They call her the Fire Witch, one of the 6 disasters. Dae-In noticed that she looked similar to this kid. He knows that the Fire Witch was kidnapped by a criminal organization when she was young and raised her as a disaster. Perhaps, he might end up stopping the first disaster. Dae-In went out with Lily to go to a market and buy some meat for dinner. They bought some raptor tenderloin. After the opening of the first dimensional gate, the food crisis causes people to start eating monsters. Mana nutritional ingredients that you couldn't buy in the future because they just weren't there. While buying some meat, Lily's stomach started to growl. They got sympathy and received plenty of extras from the seller. After that, they went to buy clothes for Lily. Dae-In tells Lily to choose, but he doesn't like the clothes that Lily chooses. So, he ended up choosing what Lily should wear. He said that having her wear clothes like that in that waist ground doesn't sit right with him. Then bought her a lot of similar outfits. After getting back, Dae-In cooked his signature mana nutrition rich meal. Lily doesn't seem to like it, but Dae-In told her that healthy foods are meant to look like that. Lily started to smell something really good. A chicken that was supposed to be eaten later. She tried to have a bite of it, and she likes it. It's so tasty that she only wants to eat chicken from now on. But Dae-In told her to eat the other dish too, or else he will make a soup of both the dishes. After eating, Dae-In told Lily to do the dishes and read the book, then tells her to not bother him. The Great Sea Mind Technique. It boosts the amount of magical power and allows more flexibility in its use. He trained using this technique before his regression. The difference is that the mana is increasing at a faster pace now because of the mana-rich food and a young age. He can feel his dantian increasing vastly in size all at once. At this rate, if he keeps on using mana-rich food with the mind technique, he can get even stronger than he was before his regression. 2 days later, he got such amazing results in such a short period of time. At this level, he could even go for a treasure hunt. Dae-In's cell phone started to ring. Youngwi is calling him. She's kind of disappointed because she thought that Dae-In would get in touch with her first. The truth is Dae-In totally forgot about the guild matter. He told her that he was busy and asked her if the contract revision go well. Youngwi said that she successfully convinced their leader and would hire him if he proves his skills. Dae-In accepted it and wants to do the entry test. However, he does have one condition. Dae-In went to the White House Guild headquarters together with Lily. He introduces Lily to Youngwi as his half-sister, and also said that she lived abroad so she's not that great at Korean. They were welcomed by Baek Chang-soo, the White House Guild leader. Dae-In's new condition is to double the contract sum if he passes the test. However, Chang-soo asked him if he really worth that much. Dae-In knows that Chang-soo doesn't know either martial arts nor magic, yet he got such an overwhelming aura with just his mana. Had it been some other superhuman, they wouldn't be able to say anything, but that wouldn't include him now. He told Chang-soo that he will show him his worth. After seeing Dae-In's mana, Chang-soo told Youngwi to rewrite the contract and to triple the contract signing bonus compared to their first offer. He also said to add in a clause that says Dae-In will be paid 20 billion for the signing bonus if he passes all the tests. The first offer was 2 billion, so triple would be 6 billion plus 20 billion if he passes all the tests. Hearing the offer, Dae-In wants to go through with the test right away. The condition for Dae-In to pass the test is to win in sparring matches against the 3 of the White House Guild members. His first opponent is Hwan Jang-hyuk. He's young but he's a part of the guild's first unit. Youngwi asked Dae-In if which weapon would he like to use, and Dae-In said that his watch is more than enough. Hwan Jang-hyuk got pissed thinking it probably hasn't been that long since Dae-In got awakened, yet he arrogantly wants to use just a watch. Dae-In only ever read about Jang-hyuk in a magazine. His trait is speed. The ability to get faster the more he moves without resting, which is why Dae-In needs to win before Jang-hyuk gets even faster. He thought Jang-hyuk would rush straight to him, but this is unexpected. Looking at Hwan Jang-hyuk speeding up, they thought that winning against a first unit member was too much, and thinks that it's over. Jang-hyuk said that he's going to end the battle now and tries to attack Dae-In, but unfortunately, guys who lower their guard are easier to take down. The speed's damage was directed back at him. They can't believe Jang-hyuk got knocked down with a single strike. Baek Chang-soo was amazed by Gi-in's performance, and said not to worry about Jang-hyuk since there didn't seem to be any life-threatening injuries. He'll be fine after a few days of rest. Chang-soo knew that Gi-in was holding himself back and thanked him for it. If Gi-in had not controlled his strength, Jang-hyuk's head would have been blown off his body. With this, 6 billion contract signing bonus is guaranteed because he already met the requirements to join the guild. He then looks at the others and said to have fun with him for the rest of the tests. Second sparring location was held at the artificial forest training grounds. White House's first unit has 6 teams of 5 people each, and below them is the second division. Dae-In's next opponent is the first unit's 6th team's leader. He is the White House main tank called the Bull, Yong Dae-hoon. He is the guy who was among the guild members secretly sending killing intent to Dae-In. When both of them are ready, the bell rang and Dae-In suddenly rushed towards Dae-hoon. He tried to send a punch but Dae-hoon easily blocked it with his shield, then tries to counterattack. He thinks that this is his chance if he throws his shield, but Dae-In went to his back and used an attack called Eagle's Claw. Dae-hoon was thinking if Dae-In learns martial arts before his awakening. Dae-hoon missed his second swing and Dae-In uses another attack called Steel Mountain. Dae-hoon was thrown away, but it is not enough to defeat his physical endurance. Dae-In was planning on hiding his power until the last test with a surprise attack. However, that sly old man wants Dae-In to lay it all out for him. Dae-hoon feels like they will be great partners, so he will request for Dae-In to be assigned to his team. But Dae-In doesn't feel like it. The leader said that he can agree to the winner. In that case, Dae-In said that he would like to become a team leader if he wins the fight. He wants to run his own team with recruits hired by his own, and carry out missions independently. Baek Chang-soo agreed to his term, but if he lose, he will halve the signing bonus and double the contract period. Dae-hoon laughed, thinking Lim Dae-In can't win against him. Dae-In asked Dae-hoon if he likes Baek Young-wi. That killing intent earlier was also because of Young-wi's interest in Dae-In, and Dae-hoon is thinking of acting all high mighty by crushing Dae-In in this match. Young Dae-hoon will cause a huge controversy in the near future. He went through all sorts of humiliation and even was kicked out of the guild. A bull mode that flips on as he loses all reasoning. It raises the mana level and boosts his physical abilities. The pissed off Young Dae-hoon rushed towards Dae-In, while Dae-In prepares his attack and used Great Sea Mine technique. He told Dae-hoon to better block his attack with his shield. Dae-In's attack destroyed Dae-hoon's shield and threw him away. They can't believe to see Young Dae-hoon was knocked out by a newbie. Dae-In's body is still weak. He lost so much strength after just one Lightning Fist attack, so he just did a temporary fix using the mine technique. He'll have to use it in the next sparring match as well. Young-wi congratulate him as the 7th team leader. Dae-In then asks if who is his last opponent. That would be Baek Chang-soo. He didn't think that Dae-In would actually win against Young Dae-hoon, so he has no choice but to give the last test by himself. Knowing that, Dae-In gives up on the third test. Chang-soo even offered 20 billion if Dae-In will just last for 5 minutes, or 3 billion for 3 minutes. But Dae-In said that he can't fight anymore. Young-wi told the guild leader that it's about time to finalize the contract. Signing bonus of 1 billion, best treatment in the industry, and the assigned 7th team leader, Lim Dae-In. Young-wi then asked Lim Dae-In on how will he hire his team members. Dae-In thinks of hiring each member one by one and wants to sign a contract with someone right away. He said that he wants to sign someone who's extremely talented, and it's Lily. Dae-In then asked Lily to make a flame as big as she can, then he will give her 3 chickens as a promise if she will do it. So, Lily showed them a huge flame, thinking about the 3 chicken rewards. The surroundings don't burn, even with a flame of that size. That means she's controlling her ability perfectly after Dae-In teaches her for a few days. Dae-In negotiated Lily's contract payments starting at 3 billion won, but she ended up with a contract payment of 5 billion won. This building is owned by the White House. They are a big company with enough regular people working that they are capable enough to operate training rooms, living spaces, operation control rooms, and other stuff. This is the equipment development workshop. They can make any equipment they want here within a week. Dae-In already have someone to make stuff for him, so he just took a few things to use for the meantime. For the time being, he will use the 2 daggers. Dae-In should end his first day after meeting the president, but the guild master suddenly came looking for him. There was an urgent message from the operation control room, but every team is out on the field right now, so he asked Dae-In if he minds going to the site. Arriving to the site, he reported that there's a gate 10 meters above the ground and giant snails are coming out in large quantities. They were asked to secure at least 3 of the monsters, maintaining their original shape for the samples. The giant smelly snails are weak, but they explode on impact and let out a bad stench. Lily didn't like the smell of the snails, so Dae-In asked her if she wants to learn on how to block her sense of smell with mana. He told her that she can't do it right away, but before he can teach her anything yet, this talented little girl already make it work. Looking around, it seems like no one has obtained a proper sample. After seeing a snail above the tree, Dae-In started to kick the tree for it to fall, and then uses a Tai Chi to make the snail dizzy. Lily saw what Dae-In did and asked him to teach her, but Dae-In says that if she wants to learn, she needs to pay up 100 billion won. After successfully collecting the 3 samples, Dae-In called the control room right away. Young-wi can't believe how fast it is. When Dae-In and Lily was about to leave, someone called them asking if they are a part of White House Guild. They haven't seen him around, and they also heard about White House contracted a newbie. They saw the strap on Dae-In's shoulder, and thought that maybe White House don't have enough people for them to let a newbie become a team leader. The Black Hound Guild Team 5 leader, Jang Seokyeon, asked Dae-In about the move that he used earlier. Dae-In told them to stop blabbering and asked if what do they want. They haven't been able to obtain any proper samples because the snails keep exploding, so they want Dae-In to give them some. But Dae-In don't want to, so Jang Seokyeon got mad with his answer. The Warrior Guild Team 3 leader told Jang Seokyeon to only use words, and the Royal Family Guild Team 5 leader told Dae-In to not be so harsh with them. He explained that they will see each other often in the field, so maybe it's good to help each other out and get results together. Knowing the situation, Youngwee told Dae-In to refuse them, and she'll make an official complaint to the guild later. Dae-In have experienced this kind of stuff a lot. He knows that if he doesn't give it to them, they are probably thinking of attacking the bag. Lim Dae-In drops the bag and told them to take it. They then said you should have been like that from the start. But suddenly Dae-In sat in the bag and said that you could take it if you can. They can't believe what they heard and got pissed off. Dae-In instructed Lily to light everything around them on fire when he gives the signal to fluster all of them. Lily asked if she should burn all of them, but Dae-In told her to not do that because it will get annoying if they kill them. Jang Seokyeon wants Dae-In to stand up and educate him as someone older than him. The gate was suddenly acting like this and a huge monster is coming out of it. Jang Seokyeon told everyone to prepare for combat. They told Dae-In to not interfere because if he butts in and gets hit by their attacks, they won't take responsibility. So, Dae-In and Lily left to put the bags in the car. The people who were fighting the giant snail was having a hard time because they can't cut it. One of them advised to cut its tentacles first. After putting the bag in the car, Dae-In was asked to go and fight. He needs to get at least one hit in so they can claim ownership of the loot. He said not to worry, because they won't ever catch it like that. The mucus is melting their shields, so the tankers are backing out and they are preparing to attack from far away. Dae-In and Lily are just watching them and waiting until all of them leave. A guy named Wang Goho from Black Hound Guild was running slowly and was left behind by his comrades. They called him an idiot and told him to release his ability to escape, but he can't. When he was about to be eaten by the monster, Dae-In rescued him. He told Wang Goho to find him later if he wants to know how to use his ability properly. Dae-In and Lily then started to attack. A huge fire suddenly appeared. Youngwee said that in 5 minutes, a support team will arrive to join them and fight together. The support teams of the other guild will arrive too. So, Dae-In thinks that monopolizing this for their guild is better. Youngwee said that monopolization is not what's important because it's too dangerous. But Dae-In said not to worry because he will catch it and return safely. King Smelly Snail is an unusually beastly monster that was recorded in an illustration book. It's important to remember the strategy on how to defeat it in case of emergency situations. It's weak to heat, so it definitely got slower after lighting the fire. The tentacles regenerate, so it recovers quickly. That is why Dae-In needs Lily's help. Once most of its tentacles are amputated, it hides in its shell and recovers its body. As the illustration book said, even the entrance is closed. They have to use what they brought from the car. Its shell is incredibly hard, so they have to target the softest part outside. The other people can't see what they are doing because of the fire. While Wang Goho remembers what Dae-In said to him about on how to use his ability. Dae-In's preparation is complete, and it is now time for the last step. Once the nail work is all done, they just need to target the center. Dae-In is going to use the hardest blow he can do now. Great Sea Mine Technique. Lightning Fist. During the test, he thought using the technique twice in a day would be too much. His body right now is too weak to use any proper techniques. Seeing Dae-In fell to the ground, Lily came to help him. Before getting rid of the firewall, they started collecting the loot. Its meat is very soft and has a lot of nutrition. It's perfect for a nutritious mana stew. The leader of Team 2, Bang Woo-hyuk, called Lim Dae-In and said that they will enter and help. Dae-In told him to wait until they release the firewall before they come in. Bang Woo-hyuk thinks that it is hard for Dae-In and Lily to go against the snail with just the two of them. After taking the most important thing, Dae-In told Lily to release the fire. They asked team leader Lim Dae-In if he catch the monster by himself, and he answered it was a fight with my life on the life. Thankfully, I had good luck. The other guilds can't believe that he did something so many of their guild members couldn't do. Dae-In then asked team leader Bang if he can leave the clean up to him. Bang said yes, and not to worry getting off to work now. Since Lily was already sleepy and hungry, they prepared a lot of food to eat as much as they want. After using the Great Sea Mind technique for a while, Dae-In thinks that things are killing him, but he expected it after drinking so much yesterday. The Great Sea Mind technique is more like an emergency aid, so he should not push himself in the meantime. Upon checking his phone, he got a lot of missed calls from Youngwee. He answered the call and told her that his muscles were too sore because he pushed himself too hard yesterday, so he just slept. Youngwee then said sorry, and asked if he is feeling better now. She was planning on actively hiring the 7th team, so she wanted to hear Dae-In's opinion. It takes a lot of people to run a team. Filming, equipment support, and medical teams who are deployed on-site alongside the operator who relays the situation from the control room, and even the secretaries who handle the team's schedule and paperwork. The members affect the team's performance, but Dae-In lets Youngwee choose the people she thinks are suitable for the team. That's because she has quite an eye for people. She also asks Dae-In if it would be alright to continue the talk over lunch. Aside from that, there's a superhuman he would like to recruit. It's Wang Guho from the Black Hound. The guild leader advised Dae-In to take 3 days off. He heard everything from Youngwee, so he thinks that it's not like Dae-In can carry out any missions until they recruit the whole team. After his conversation with the guild leader, Dae-In asks Lily if she is hungry. She excitedly asks Dae-In if they are going to eat chicken, but Dae-In said that he will make her something even tastier than chicken. Unlike last time, this food is made from fresh and delicious ingredients with a soft texture, and even the core from a snail's heart. A specially made mana health food. The snail meat soup from hell. The color may be weird, but it's very healthy. Playing innocent, Lily said that she ate a lot of chicken yesterday, so she is not really that hungry. Dae-In tries to tempt her by telling her that the food is really delicious and it's full of snail meat. There won't be any left for dinner, he bet. If she's not gonna eat, he will finish all of it. Lily suddenly stops Dae-In from finishing all the food. After trying to taste it, Lily felt heartbroken and said that she was so happy until yesterday. She doesn't want to trust Dae-In anymore. But Dae-In told her that they will be having grilled pork belly for dinner. She doesn't know about it, so Dae-In told her that it's more expensive than chicken. After hearing that, she said that it might make life worth living for her. To be able to eat more tasty foods, Dae-In said that they need to work on their digestion first. So she asks Lily to follow him and go for a treasure hunt. The monsters that survived during the first gate have formed their own territories. Among them is an orc tribe that has a relic from a different dimension. Near the orc tribe, Dae-In was thinking on how to get close to the stone statue where the treasure is hidden. Before his regression, an expedition team found and took it, but this time, he wants to snatch it first. As far as he can remember, the orc tribe has around 200 of them. Thanks to the core crystal, his body was able to recover, but there's still too many of them. Before sneaking in, Dae-In advised Lily to light up a fire at the entrance if a torch on that side falls after he goes in there, and if she gets distracted and doesn't see it, they will lose the treasure. After the conversation, Dae-In went into stealth mode and walked in through the entrance. No one would be able to detect him unless there's a stronger enemy there. There are about 10 orcs guarding the statue, so if it's just that much, he thinks that he might be able to do it all alone. Dae-In pulls his knife out and sees the mutant orc tribe leader. This monster showed a ridiculous amount of monstrous power against the expedition team of the past, so he knows that he's dangerous. He decided to better follow through with the plan after all. He picked up a stone and threw it to the torch. It's the signal! Lily started to lit up some fire, and the enemies started moving in order to stop the fire from spreading. Using it as a chance, Dae-In plans to quickly destroy the statue, but the mutant orc tribe leader sensed him. After dodging the attack, he realized that the guy is too strong for him, so he bounces off. He ran quickly to escape from the monster, and since he caught him, hiding is pointless. Dae-In and Lily run to the forest to hide. While taking a rest, Lily recognizes the place and points out the cave where she got out when she crossed the gate. She said that those strange men who tried to catch her were there that time too. Dae-In thinks that maybe this place is Red Snake's hideout. He was happy to know about this and felt proud of Lily. Dae-In wants to drop by inside, but Lily said that she doesn't want to go in there. So Dae-In told her to hide in the bushes and stay still, and when something happens, press the button to notify him. Before going inside, he activates stealth and slowly walks into the cave. The Red Snake wasn't a small group, so he guessed that it's a secret hideout base from the security. Wondering why they chose a place right next to the orc tribe, he saw a couple of people working on something. It's a white powder, and he thinks it is a serpent.